Welcome back to Let's Talk. I'm Sharad Kuttan. With me, Opah, Azhfar, and Roy Kulleh. They're both members of Nading Rhapsody, a band that's come out of Sarawak. It's come out of a particular experience. And Opah, you ended the last segment telling us about the Rainforest Festival and basically the challenge it posed or the opportunities it posed for you as a musician. Now, you have and unless people have heard you, I mean, you have an extraordinary voice. And you say you're not trained. Do you personally model yourself and your singing on anybody? What are your musical influences?
Personally, for myself, okay, I would say that on stage and off stage, I'm a different person. When I'm off stage, I'm what you see today. But when I'm on stage, there's a different character that I would pick. This character usually derives from the songs or the music that we were playing, because each song and music and the lyrics that was performed during that time comes from a very different set of experiences. So that's where I get my energy from. And most part of it is because I don't have a professional training, so it goes with the more and more practice.
But is there somebody, a musician that you loved as you're growing up, who shaped your voice? I mean, I know we're all endowed with the voices we have, but it can change, and you can mimic and you can model. Is there anybody that you would credit for the sound that you produce?
World musically, no. But
You can reach for a pop reference. It's okay. We won't think any less of you if you say Britney Spears, which is obviously the last reference I know, Tina Turner.
My first reference was Norah Jones, actually, and the next person is Neka. Not many people have heard of her, but she's the modern jazz singer. Both Norah Jones and Neka are two different types and sets of voices and character, but they both play the same music.
Right.
One is a bit slow, smooth, and one is a bit rebellious. And these are the two traits that I have actually on stage.
Okay, so you got for that. So it sort of gels with your personality. Norah Jones, of course, the daughter of the famous sitar player Ravi Shankar. Roy, tell us about you. And I know you sing as well, but you contribute to the chanting and the lyrics. You're a poet yourself. Who do you model yourself on? I mean, is there influence?
Well, there's a lot actually, but previously, before reforming Nading Rhapsody, we all used to play in the club, different club, as a singer, as a musician. So of course, all this music influence our daily taste of music. So just like me and myself, and I don't know, I like George Cobain, Frank Sinatra. This is because
those are crooners.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they all have that type of voice, the bass voice.
So by listening to them, but of course we can't put them in particularly in the sounds of the world music, but the principle of the emotions. So as well, when I wrote songs, I composed some lyrics and poems. It's all came from the narrative of our daily life, the stories that we shape. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's very interesting, because it also allows me to kind of mention the fact that Nading is a reference to an Iban myth, a warrior who goes on a journey, I believe. And tell us about it. Why Nading? Why that particular mythology? How was it inspirational?
From day one, actually, because this is really personal to us. Because as we mentioned earlier, we all grew up in the city, and we lack of the knowledge and the roots of ourselves. How do we identify ourselves as indigenous? As an indigenous youngster back in the days, we're still young.
Yes, I am young.
Yeah, and then we started to pick up and to learn from the elder about where we came from, the sounds, the image, and then because of, I can say because of the because of the religion, it shaped most of the indigenous community to be, I can say that, did they neglect the image of the real indigenous people? No.
So when you would say religion, you mean Christianity primarily, right? Okay, so okay, you're reaching for mythology, you're going back past that layer of maybe Christianity that many of you share in common. How does it help you create the music? It was traditional music also feeding off those mythologies, Opah?
Actually, what I would say is that when we had that call in 2011 and 2012, we figured that all of us are lost and we don't know ourselves and our identity, our roots. We're somehow lost at that point of time. So when we get back to our own roots, it somehow feeds our energy at that time, and of course up until today. So, but when you say things about traditionals and rituals and the things that we are adapting to our music now, you cannot take everything in, because you can only take some parts, because when you talk about rituals and all practices, these are all taboos. And if we bring out the whole thing, we have a lot of things to answer to our parents and our elders, because not everything is supposed to be performed as a performance, because these are rituals and there are reasons why people do this.
It's sacred.
Sacred. Just like when we talk about one of our songs called Sabak Pulai, I would refer to that because Sabak Pulai is actually an adaptation of Poem of Lamentation. So when you say Poem of Lamentation, it's usually used in a funeral. So you cannot just simply perform it suka-suka, whenever you like. But which is why we would say it's an adaptation. We put it into a performing arts so that it is more adaptable, people can connect more, and if it intrigues you, you would want to know more about it, and only then you can do some more research on it. What are the rituals?
Right. I do want to ask Roy, just very quickly, has anybody ever accused you of exploiting your own traditions and history for the music, that somehow you shouldn't be going there, you should be doing something else?
Yes, of course, there's a lot do's and don'ts from our parents and the elderly from the family. But as a young adult today, you really have a strong curiosity to learn. So there's no boundaries. It's just that you need to select which and which to be bring out to the next level and how. Yeah. And of course, we did ask from the people from the village about how it sounds like, where this comes from, the story from the myth and everything. And then that is how we learn. By learning every day, daily, you put yourself in as a musician as well as a normal young adult. So we need to at least have this as a basic knowledge for you to identify yourself.
Okay, so that's a good defense. You're off the hook. Okay, we're going to take another short break. We'll be right back.